Hi everyone, it's me. Welcome to today's video. It is that time of the month again already to pick our next monthly TBR. So we are headed into spooky season, which I feel like has really snuck up on us really quick. I always feel like September is the start of like cozy season, and October is spooky season, and then we get back into cozy season in November. But the weather this year, I feel like just has not been giving cozy season yet. Like I've been trying to do all these like fun fall activities, like I went apple picking and all of this stuff, but the weather is still kind of giving summer. So I'm honestly not sure if I'm ready mentally for spooky season yet, but we are picking our October TBR, and that makes me feel like I should start getting into some like spooky gothic reads. But I don't know, we'll see what the TBR jar picks for us. So we're gonna pick 5 prompts for 5 books as always. First of all, we have to give it a mix. Oh my gosh, there is that is the biggest cat hair fluff I have ever seen in my TBR jar. I feel like every single month I find one of these cat hair fluffs in my TBR jar, but that is the biggest one that I have seen so far. Life of being a cat mom, truly. All right, let's see what we get. We're gonna do a pink prompt first, obviously. Okay, a 1-word title. I feel like 2-word titles would be easier, because even if you think a title is 1 word, usually it's actually 2 words. Like the names, you have like the at the beginning, the academy, like you would think like, oh, it's just academy, but no, there's a the. Let's see what we can find. Ooh, actually, Night Weaver by R.M. Gray. This is definitely 1 word. This is a pirate romantasy. I think the second book is actually coming out quite soon. I don't know if this is gonna be a duology or a trilogy, but I feel like I've heard some good things about this one. Do I want to start another series at this point? I keep telling myself I'm not gonna start like new series until I finish more of the ones I'm in the middle of, and then I just like month to month I keep starting so many more series. But Night Weaver is definitely 1 word, so that's an option. Oh, you know what? I actually picked this up in a little free library near me like around 2 weeks ago, but I found Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. I'm not really one to read a graphic novel. I haven't read very many graphic novels in my life, but I have heard that these ones are super cute. So this actually could be a fun one, and definitely something that is different from what I normally read. So it would act as a really good sort of like palette cleanser. I don't really want to say palette cleanser because I feel like whenever I use the term palette cleanser, that kind of implies that that palette cleanser book is not like a book to stand out by itself, but you know what I mean, just something to like break up the typical type of books that I read. So this could be a fun option as well. That is the start to a whole other series though. Ooh, I have Madwoman by Chelsea Bieker. I've actually had this one for a while. It's been hiding at the back of my TBR cart for a long time, but I think this one is actually quite a spooky book. I mean, look at the cover. That looks pretty spooky to me. What does this one say? The world is not made for mothers, yet mothers made the world. Clove has gone to extremes to keep her past a secret. Thanks to her lies, she's landed the life of her dreams, complete with a safe husband and 2 adoring children who will never know the terror that was routine in her childhood. If her buried anxiety threatens to breach the surface, Clove, if that's really her name, focuses on finding the right supplement, the right gratitude meditation. But when she receives a letter from a women's prison in California, her past comes screeching into the present, entangling her in a dangerous game with memory and the people she thought she had outrun. Clove is forced to finally unravel the defining day of her life. Will the truth undo her, or could it ultimately save her? A gripping portrait of motherhood and mother loss, intimate terrorism and terrifying love, and the things women do to keep each other alive. This sounds really good, actually. I don't know why I've been putting this book off for the longest time. I did actually receive an ARC of this. This book actually came out September 2024, so clearly I've been holding on to this for a long time. I've heard really good things about it, and I don't know, just there's something about it that's giving me like creepy, spooky vibes, so I might choose this one, actually. Wild card. First book, 1-word title is gonna be Madwoman. I love starting at my monthly TBRs with something like just a little bit unpredictable. Like who knew? Who knew that this book was hiding at the back of my TBR card and I would choose it for this month? I certainly didn't. Okay, what do we have next? Okay, this one's fun. we have a pink cover. Pink cover, pink cover. So this is definitely very pink in the spine, but the cover itself is like not that pink. There's definitely pink text on there, and it's not the like main color of the cover, like in terms of coverage, but I feel like because the pink is so vibrant and like the spine and the whole back of the book are pink, I feel like this counts as a pink book. So this is My Year of Rest and Relaxation by Otessa Moshfegh. I have to look up and learn how to pronounce that last name. But this, I think, is a character study book about a young woman who is just like, because of a lot of factors, she's not happy with her life and she goes to see a psychiatrist. I think that's the main premise of this book. I've heard so many mixed things. I've heard of people who absolutely loved this book, like this is one of their favorite books ever, and then I've heard of so many people like physically like rejecting this book, like saying that this book made them feel sick, but like in the worst way. So definitely very interesting. I don't know if this is our second book for our TBR, just because I feel like this is kind of a wild card book for me and we've already chosen a wildcard book for our first read, so maybe not this time. I do have These Infinite Threads by Tahera Mafi, but this is a sequel. I clearly have not read this Woven Kingdom because it's right here in my TBR still, so I can't get to this pink book yet. Do I have any other pink? Oh, you know what? This is kind of pink. It's definitely not all pink, similar to My Year of Rest and Relaxation, and one might argue that My Year of Rest and Relaxation is more pink than this one because this is like gray with pink foiling, but it's kind of all over. You know what I mean? And I did want to read this book this fall. A lot of you are also saying this is a wonderful winter read, and from the story that I know, like about Little Women, I obviously know the story already. I can definitely see this being a really good like Christmas time read, but I think I'm just like really excited to read this book. Like I'm so in the mood to pick this up because yeah, I love the story. I love like the multiple movie adaptations of the story, and I want to read the words. I want to read the source material. I might choose this one. Another kind of wild card book for me because I'm not usually one to just like pick up a classic, but this is definitely a classic I've wanted to read for a long time. So we might, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go with this as our second book on the October TBR. It's definitely not a spooky season book, but maybe after reading something kind of eerie like this, I will need something cozy and comforting like Little Women. So that's gonna be our pink book. Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. That is very exciting. I love this for us. Okay, prompt 3, what will it be? I didn't even mean to make that rhyme. Just came out that way. Okay. Okay, set in the woods. This one I feel like is perfect for this season. Like we want a woodsy book. Now, what book is actually set in the woods? Is Hemlock and Silver? I feel like T. Kingfisher would write books that are set in the woods. And I've never read a T. Kingfisher book in my life, but I feel like her vibe gives woods, if that makes sense. And I feel like this cover also gives woods. Like, look how planty it is. So let's check. Healer Anya regularly drinks poison, not to die, but to save, seeking cures for those everyone has given up on. But a summons from the king interrupts her quiet herb-obsessed life. His daughter, Snow, is dying, and he hopes Anya's unorthodox methods can save her. Aided by a taciturn guard, a narcissistic cat, and a passion for the scientific method, Anya rushes to treat Snow, but nothing seems to work. That is, until she finds a secret world hidden inside a magic mirror. This dark realm may hold the key to what is making Snow sick. Or it might be the thing that kills them all. Yes, okay, I completely forgot that this book is a Snow White retelling. I want to read this. So I feel like this would be so perfect for this season. Snow White's kind of woodsy, isn't it? Like she goes through the woods. Like that's how she finds the 7 dwarfs. Like she has to go through the woods. I feel like this is quite woodsy. And we have like herbs, like we have growing like ingredients for potions and stuff. I'm just kind of like flipping through pages to see if I can pick up any like woodsy words. I don't know. I just feel like this has to be a woodsy book. You know what? I'm gonna call this a woodsy book. I'm gonna call this a woodsy book. So this is gonna count. I'm gonna see if there are other ones as well. Oh, this one's kind of like campy, you know? The Bones Beneath My Skin. We definitely have some, I don't know, tree-like things in there. Oh yeah, this one is set in a summer cabin outside the small mountain town of Roseland, Oregon. That feels woodsy. And you know what? This book was on my summer TBR and I didn't actually end up getting to it this summer. So do I do it now? Yeah, this one's like cabiny and like woodsy. Okay, that's an option. That's an option. Let's see if there's anything else. I feel like Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson could be woodsy too. This is another one I picked up in a little free library a few weeks ago. I've been finding like really great things as I've been walking around the neighborhood lately, but this also starts a new series and I don't know if I want that. I also don't know if this one is for sure set in the woods. It just has the word thorns in the title, so I just assumed. Isn't Assistant to the Villain? Isn't this one set in the woods? Or am I remembering that wrong? For some reason, I remember something woodsy about this book. Yes, I remember because when I was reading the first sentences to books, the first like paragraph in this references a lot of forests. So we have like the hickory forest. There's a lot of emphasis on this like forbidden forest. And so many of you want me to read this, but this is a series. This is a series. Ooh, 7 Deadly Thorns. This looks woodsy. Look how woodsy this looks. Where is this one set? Okay, this is set at an academy. I don't know how woodsy an academy is, unless it's an academy in the woods. I think it has to be one of these 3. I'm gonna eliminate the Bones Beneath My Skin, to be honest, because yes, it was on my summer TBR and I didn't get to it, but I don't really feel like I'm in the mood to pick this one up at this moment in time. So let's put that one back up. It's gonna be in between these 2. I feel like you guys are gonna be so mad at me if I don't pick up Assistant to the Villain because you guys have been wanting me to read this for a long time. And it's set in the, like it's clearly out of all the books that we have talked about, this one is the most clearly, like specifically set in the woods and matches the prompt. But I'm so sorry. I wanna read this so bad. I wanna read this so bad. I know it's a newer book and I've had this one for longer. So all signs are leading to choosing this, but I feel like I'm really in the mood for this, like something spooky for October. And I feel like this gives more spooky than this. Like this I think is more comedic from what I've heard. I'm gonna pick Hemlock and Silver. I'm sorry. I just really want to read this. I've also wanted to read Kingfisher for a long time, like longer than you know. Like even before I started mentioning that I wanted to read her. So, set in the woods. We're gonna do Hemlock and Silver. Wow, that one took a lot of deliberating. All right, what are we on? 4. Prompt number 4. We haven't done a yellow yet, so let's dig for a yellow. Okay. This prompt again. Ugly cover. This is genuinely one of my least favorite prompts because it makes me feel like I'm being mean. And I know I've mentioned that before, but it just like, why does this prompt exist? It exists because I myself wrote it down and put it in this jar, but like, why? Why did I do that? All covers are beautiful in their own unique way, but I know exactly what I'm gonna pick. But I do feel like you're gonna be happy about this one. Words of Radiance by Brandon Sanderson. I have been, like at the pace I've been going, I've been tackling one Brandon Sanderson book a month, and I feel like that is a good pace for his books because obviously his books are massive. So I think one book a month has been going very well for me for the past few months. And I did read Warbreaker this past month, which was the one book that a lot of you guys said is good to read like before the Stormlight Archive in general. So I finished that. I obviously read The Way of Kings. And so next up on my Cosmere list is Words of Radiance, and I've been so excited to read this one because it is the highest rated book on Goodreads, which makes me curious in so many ways. Like, how can this book truly be that good? I do think these covers are really ugly. I do. I think almost all of my Brandon Sanderson books I think have very ugly covers, and it's definitely like a personal aesthetic preference thing because his books just like, they're very like, I don't know, like vintage fantasy. I don't even know if that's the right word for it, but like they're very old school fantasy with these mass market paperback sizes too. Like even the proportions of it to me these are very ugly books. But it's actually a good thing this time around because I have a book to pick for this prompt and I'm excited to read this one. We're gonna add this 1,300 page long book to our monthly TBR. Does this make me very nervous every time I do something like this? Absolutely yes, because you could fit like 5 different books in this one book. That makes me a little scared, but I'm really excited to read this. I really did love The Way of Kings and I can't wait to go on in this series. I also feel like now that I've dipped my toes into the Stormlight Archive and I know our setting, I know like a bit of our magic system, I know we're definitely gonna expand more on it, but I know the basis of it. I know our like main protagonist. I feel like this is less intimidating to step into now compared to that first book. So we're gonna do Words of Radiance for ugly cover. Okay, we have one more. Let's see what it's gonna be. Newest book added to TBR. Okay, I'm excited. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I didn't even show this prompt to you because I was so excited, but yeah, newest book added to TBR. So if you follow me on Instagram, or actually no, I posted that reel or short here on YouTube as well, but I recently just went to the most fun event at the HarperCollins office. I'm so grateful to have been invited to this event by Frenzy Books, which is like a division of HarperCollins Canada. They invited me to their office to celebrate like one of their upcoming new fantasy books coming up, and so the author was there. We were able to listen to like a panel moderated by the author and the editor of the book, and then we were able to just like meet the author, chat with her. It was such a wonderful event, and since that event, which happened like a few days before I'm filming this TBR video, we were able to obviously get a copy of the book to read. This book actually comes out in December. Dawn of the Firebird by Mughal Rana. I am so excited to read this. It sounds wonderful from the way the author and everyone is describing this book. The marketing blurb says, for fans of the Poppy War, She Who Became the Sun and the Will of the Many. This is a breathtaking fantasy novel about the daughter of an overthrown emperor from an exciting new voice. So we have like magic that comes from the heavens, I think. There's something about a raven, a crane, and a firebird. And the author, Sarah, described this as not an enemies to lovers. Okay, this is not a romantasy at all. This is pure fantasy, but she described this as enemies to even worse enemies. I'm so excited to read this. We also got some of these page overlays with this book, and it just makes me even more excited to read this book, because if there's like, you know when you see fan art or like just like the vibe, the aesthetics of the book, and it makes you even more excited to read it. Look how gorgeous these are. Like this is giving the energy we want. I literally just added this to my TBR a couple days ago when I went to the HarperCollins event, and it's definitely the newest, like freshest book on my TBR, so I have to pick this one. How gorgeous. How gorgeous is this book? This is the art copy. The published copy is even more gorgeous because it has like these lovely stenciled edges that like blend into the cover. I'm so excited to read this. I'm really truly excited. So that was easy. Newest book added to the TBR. Dawn of the Firebird. So that's 5. That makes 5. I think this is a really good TBR. I'm excited. So to recap, bottom to top, Madwoman by Chelsea Bieker was our one-word title book. We have Little Women by Louisa Alcott for our pink book. Hemlock and Silver by Kingfisher for a book set in the woods, or like a woodsy book. Dawn of the Firebird by Mughal Rana for the newest book added to the TBR. And Words of Radiance by Sanderson for our ugly book. This looks amazing. I'm kind of obsessed. We have some good variety. Like we have some like kind of spooky books, to a classic, to a fairy tale retelling, to like 2 high fantasies. I think we're gonna have a great reading month. But that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave me a like and a comment. If you don't know what to comment down below, let me know what is on your October TBR. If you like me, subscribe, do that bell thing, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!